Welcome, fellow Lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Little
There once was a girl named Tashara.
Tashara.
She came on her show.
What a song.
Tamara.
It just fucked up my whole song.
What?
I was gonna say I'm gonna write a song about that name.
Tashara?
Yeah. I feel like it could be a good like 80s ballad.
Tashara.
I'm envisioning like a winger theme to it.
Yeah, except she wasn't born in the 80s. Or was she? I don't know.
Age doesn't matter.
It doesn't. No, she must have been because she was Miss May 1999. So if she was born in the 90s. She'd been the first 9-year-old playing centerfold. That's
Which I didn't look at.
Completely different magazine. Yeesh. Yeesh. I don't want to try and say her name right because I know I'm going to say it wrong.
Tashara.
I'm going to Cusino.
Casino, but
Little,
cool. Yeah. It's a sexy name.
Tashara Cusino.
Oof. Say it again.
Tashara Cusino. I want to hear her say it.
In Australia.
Australian? She's from Australia?
She is not. I have no idea where she's from.
And why Australians just have an English? They speak English just with a weird accent. I mean, not a weird accent, just an accent.
I see. I even messed that up. I can't even remember. What was she speaking? Dutch? No,
Dutch.
She was speaking Dutch.
She was speaking Dutch.
Not that I confuse the two. I just can't remember.
Our friend Mary.
Hey, Mary. Thanks again for your.
She was. Well, you logged on the other night too when she was live. I saw.
Yeah, I popped on.
Yeah,
didn't stay long because I was like, well, I think I was driving home, and I was like, well, I'll pop on when I get home, and I never did.
Yeah, no, I posted the link for her episode in that chat, and she talked about it being on a little bit. And
oh, she did.
Yeah. What
did you say something to her? Did you say hi to her?
Yeah, I said hi, and she said hi first. She was like, "Hey, Kevin and Dean," and I didn't tell her who I was, but I mean, I didn't tell her if I was Kevin or Dean. I was logging by myself, and she just mentioned that she had been on, and that she can't tag it because and so then I posted the link in the chat.
Super sweet.
Yeah. So
she's been kind of active lately.
Yeah, her
Instagram stuff. So
her and her partner are gonna start a YouTube channel. It sounds like where they just talk about things.
I did. So when she started saying about, hey, I'm thinking about starting me and my partner, I went, I'm sorry, what?
Her partner.
And then it said YouTube discuss things. But she was going to expand on her
what?
On her OnlyFans,
on her
content. Mars. I believe it's on OnlyFans with Mars.
Mars with a K. Mars K. Right? That's her OnlyFans.
I did. Episode.
I am a subscriber.
I don't remember the episode.
But I never go on. I should.
Here, I'll tell you right now.
I should go. Wait, listen. Oops.
Class. We have nothing but class right here.
Hey,
so what am I doing?
I had to do it before the guest got here.
That's true. Good for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to YouTube on Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
YouTube. Oh, Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Looking at all of our episodes. Episode 31.
Yeah.
Conversation with Mary Kay.
Yeah.
There you go. Episode 31. Look for it.
How many people have watched it now?
642.
Oh, wow. Had a big day. It was at 89 the last time I looked. 642. Right. You know, everybody can see how many views it has, right?
Well, at least they'll go look.
So you can't
go look and then
that.
Well, no, just come back on and call me a liar.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The
fat camp is up to 50.
It's been at 50 for a long time. We had another dislike on a fucking somebody thumbed down one of our episodes, and I want to know who the fuck it was.
What? I want to know which episode now.
Oh, it was our latest. Somebody hit the old thumbs down. I'm like, really?
Why would what the hell's up with that?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that to us? We're a tiny little podcast just trying to make our way in the world.
And it's
fuck you.
That just doesn't make any sense.
If you don't like us, just move on.
Well, that doesn't even make sense. Oh, you know what it is? It's got to be. It's got to be exactly what we talked about.
People are jealous.
Well, they're jealous, but the fucktards that
The what?
that
The what?
we're expecting
Oh.
tits and ass and porn. And
Oh, from the movie?
yeah,
Yeah, probably those same fuck faces.
there you go. That's what I'm
Douchey
talking about.
douchebags. Oh, I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. First of all, it's on YouTube. There's not gonna be tits or ass on YouTube, you fucking genius. It had to be a dude.
Yes.
Had to be a dude. He was like this. What? Thumbs down.
I gotta finish to Kevin again. Damn it.
Hey, dude who just thumbs down that one, just because we got a playmate on tonight. There're not gonna be any tits or ass in this one either. So
No.
move
The
on.
most tits and you're gonna see is the fat camp and
Here,
our tits.
there you go.
So deal with it.
There you go. No, I took my shirt off in the Hot Ones episode too. So, and I used it as a snot rag all night. Oh, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
my
I
God.
can't wait to rewatch that.
Oh my God. I hope
So good.
Yeah, by the time you're seeing this, you should have already watched the Hot Ones episode. And if you haven't, go back and watch unless you're a
when-
sensitive, whiny little bitch. Then
Then
don't go back and
Please,
watch
then please don't.
because there are things that we discuss that are not for the sensitive ears.
Well, our senses were perking.
I was on fucking fire,
It was
man.
hilarious watching
I was on
you
fire.
whine like a little bitch.
I was terrible. You know, I didn't realize that like I started getting already bad by like wing number 3 or 4. Like, holy shit. But you were, yeah, you did pretty well.
Held on, yeah.
But-
It got to me at the end, but
Holy fuck. Those last couple were insane. You can just watching it. I can see how like you can feel it. Like little PT.
so if anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about on YouTube, there's a show called Hot Ones, and we ripped them off.
Okay, wait. If you don't know what we're talking about, wake the fuck up.
That's true. It's a fantastic show. Where they have, well, I mean,
How come I'm always bad cop?
we don't get bigger stars than us, but
How come I'm always bad cop?
progressively ate a hotter wing sauce.
How come I'm always bad cop?
I'm telling you, man.
Just
The
making sure I
natural
don't, just making sure I don't get any messages. But
personal
I'll put it right here. So
personalities just come out, I guess. I'm thinking.
I don't like.
So we did our own.
We did do our own, and it was fun.
Did we
But
call it Hot Ones? Or do we have to call it a different name?
we'll just call it. We ripped off Hot Ones.
I'm literally going to just say, can we just say we
Yeah.
our version of, or
Do you think
ripped off?
Do you think Hot Sean and Hot Ones are going to sue us over
I
it?
hope they do.
I do too.
Then we can be on the show.
Right.
You know,
Well, here's what I can say, Sean and Cold Ones. Scoville levels. Let's talk Scoville. Is that the word? Scoville levels.
yeah.
I've been watching because in the episode we talked about, I wonder what they get up to. We didn't know what they got up to. So I've been watching them more often now. And the hottest one they do, other than the last dab, because they that one they list at TBD.
Yeah.
The hottest one they do is 670,000. Our third to last one was over 1 million. So
Boom.
I'm pretty sure I could handle Sean Evans' little Cold Ones fucking episode.
Rename
With-
it.
with
Will you
flying
rename
colors.
it, Sean? Rename the episode.
Maybe lukewarm ones. How about that? Lukewarm ones.
Shit going on over there.
Kind of spicy ones.
We're full board. We're the extreme hot ones.
Yeah, we fucking killed it. We fucking killed it. What we should do now is get the actual the Hot One sauces if they weren't fucking $135 for 10 sauces.
Yeah.
Get the Hot One sauces and do them and be like, this ain't shit. This ain't shit. Ain't shit. Although Gordon Ramsay couldn't handle it, so
That was probably one of my favorite episodes. Who was this? Anyways, yeah, it starts. It's pretty good. I
yeah,
enjoy it.
let's promote the show that doesn't need any promoting. Cold Ones.
Cold
Go
ones.
watch Cold Ones with Sean Evans.
Because
And while
we're
you're
taking over. We're the new hot ones.
And while you're there, comment that some guys on this podcast did it for real.
Real men did it.
Yeah. Well, not real men. Not real men,
Well,
but we
we
did
can
it.
say it.
We did it.
I mean, anybody that knows us,
we did it with real sauces.
no, we're lying.
We're not real men. you kidding me?
What?
I ripped my shirt off and used it as a snot rag for the last 5 wings. I also,
which the shirt has not been washed and can be bought for auction. We're gonna auction it off.
Yeah, I autographed some of the snot stains.
Stands up by itself.
You know what else I did notice?
Nothing new with the snot. What did you notice?
On the hot one,
yeah,
on our ripoff of Hot Ones, how stupid I was during this, because I was taking like 2 or 3 bites of every fucking wing.
Yeah, I wasn't.
No, you might have been. I don't know. I wasn't watching you. I'm just saying.
I thought I ate.
I'm just saying on Hot Ones,
Some of them do, yeah.
You know, I'm like, what the fuck? Why was I doing that? We were fucking plowed. That's part of the problem.
We were a little toasty beforehand.
Yeah, I think we recorded with somebody else beforehand, right?
That was our second episode of the night.
Yeah, that's never a good idea.
Always a fantastic episode. It's the other one that gets there.
So this is, what do we got? We got the Red Hot Realtor.
The Red Hot Realtor.
That's what this is called?
That's what it's called.
All right. And it's just
the Red Hot Realtor. Why would we be drinking the Red Hot Realtor?
Because we're going to have a conversation with a red hot realtor.
It named itself.
It fit. And hopefully she is
a former playmate.
Miss May, 1999.
Playmate.
Shara Cusino.
Playmate. Not playmate. She was just the former May 1999. Playmate.
Centerfold.
Who now is into real estate.
Very into real estate and very good at
doing fantastic in Las Vegas. So
yeah,
looked it up. Boom. You can't beat Red Hot Realtor.
If you're looking to move to Las
Vegas.
So
it's very simple. It's just Fireball, cinnamon whiskey, and Sprite.
And it's tasty.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if it would have done their mixture, it would have to me seemed like just a watered down cinnamon something. So I had a little more.
You son of a bitch!
You gotta get to drunk. So yeah, it's kind of tasty.
I have to see my counselor tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I don't want to be hungover.
Let me get you another one.
It's a very important appointment. I got a lot of shit. Never mind. Clip.
Yeah.
Clip.
Talk about how whiny you are with one cocktail. Can you bring that up a little bit?
And we're back. I'm gonna need to top this up before we start. I don't really want to be hungover tomorrow because I have a big day.
Okay,
and I really do not want to be hungover Saturday morning because I got a big.
We're gonna pee, and then I'm gonna top these off.
All right, cut. Right. You don't keep a pretty lady waiting.
Thanks for cutting off mine.
And without further ado, Tashara Cusino.
Beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I got
kind of like connecting, and then I know my schedule gets super busy, and then so we finally connected.
Yeah, no, that's all right. We've been busy too, so we're glad we finally got to it, and
glad it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, this is the best technology has ever worked too. Normally, we struggle to get both camera and audio working at the same time, and
we got her.
We did good tonight. So
here.
Awesome. So how are you doing?
Oh, so good. Yeah. How are you guys?
Very good. So let's get you introduced first.
Absolutely. First and foremost.
We are talking tonight to Miss May, 1999, Tashara, I'm going to say Cusino. Is that right?
Yep. You'll hear people say Cusino, Tashara, Las Vegas
it has multiple possibilities.
I'm sure you've heard a bunch over the years. How is Vegas doing tonight?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. It's getting cold now, but it's been warm for a while. Where are you guys at?
Well, what is cold to you when you say it's getting cold?
Yeah, I know. So cold, it's like it's getting in the low 70s.
Oh, yeah. No, we're in Wisconsin and it's about 32 degrees right now. So
oh God, I don't know. I was born here, so I'm a desert bunny for sure. Like I really love the heat.
Have you ever lived anywhere where it gets cold?
I mean, I spent a good amount of time in New York.
Okay.
So yeah, it gets super cold there, but I couldn't live there full time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've never lived through a full winter kind of thing.
No.
You're not missing anything.
You're like, white Christmases are overrated. Don't need it.
I think I think it'd be nice to have all the 4 seasons. I think that would be nice.
You gotta like the change or you don't. So what are you drinking? Well, as you know, we picked a cocktail for you tonight. Let's bring that up.
Okay.
So the name of the cocktail we're drinking is the Red Hot Realtor.
Ah.
Figured, right? We mixed
I love it.
your Playboy into the so it's some cinnamon whiskey with Sprite. So it's a simple drink, but it's very
Cinnamon
tasty.
whiskey and Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Is that a real drink, or did you guys make that up?
It's a real drink. I searched for it, and it's a real drink.
Oh my
Like
god!
there was a few realtor type names, and there must have been names of the closer and things like that. Then once I hit the Red Hot Realtor, you're mixing them both, you know. So there you go. So cheers to you, and thank you for coming on.
Guys, yeah, I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, give it a try.
So where do we start? Should we just start with? We just kind of start with your Playboy experience, how you got to Playboy, and your experience there.
Oh wow! Well, the funny thing is I don't know what it was, but ever since I was a teenager, I knew I was going to be a playmate. I would tell them, like, I'm going to be a playmate. And I remember one time I was dating this guy, and he was like showing me this Playboy's newsstand special, and he was like showing me, he's like, yeah, I was with that girl. I was with that. And it was like kind of trying to make me jealous. And I was like, I think I was 18 at the time, and I was like, I'm going to be a playmate. And he kind of just looked at me like, yeah, honey, you and every other girl.
Sure.
And I was like, okay.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. And it was funny. And so a couple of years passed by. So I got discovered by Paul Marciano from Guess Jeans. And then he actually was like, oh, would you like to be a playmate? And I didn't even really know who he was, right? I just thought, I was like, well, is this guy for real? And then he called Marilyn Gabowski, like right there on the spot, right? And he's like, hey, and he put her on the phone with me, and I was like 19, and I was like, oh, she's like, all right, darling, can you come out next week for a test shoot? And I was like, oh man, I made every excuse up possible. I was like, oh, this, I have that, I was like self-sabotaging myself. And she's like, okay, what about the following weekend? And I was like, well, it's now or never,
Yeah, right.
So I ended up going out there and shot my test shoot, and she was really really grateful for her, because she kind of took me underneath her wing, and she was like, well, would you like to? It was right when Hef was just recently divorced, and he kind of came back out, and he was like doing the parties, and he was with Mandy, Brandy, and Sandy, and it was like that time, like it was like the good time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she was like, well, do you want to go to the Midsummer Night's Dream Party? And I was like, oh my God, I would love to. So I ended up doing my test shoot, and I stayed through the weekend, and and that was it. The rest was history. She was like, well, darling, you're gonna be Miss May. And I was like, okay, and
Wow.
Before you know it, you're okay. Wow.
Yeah. And so
did you ever model for Guess Jeans? I see that.
I did. Yes, I did some stuff. I shot, and he was very helpful. And like, I met so many people during that time. It was like a whirlwind. I was actually in school for my naturopathic degree, right? And my parents were like, well, these are the really good opportunities. You should just go. And I was actually scared. I'll tell you, I reshot my centerfold twice. The first time they were like, Hef didn't like my hair, and then he didn't like I'll tell you, it takes a week to shoot that one gatefold.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about the shoot. Yes.
Oh, it's intense. I broke out in tears. They had to give me they would have some wine. Like, so it was an intense experience. I had are staying at the mansion, you're away from home. It's a full experience. When you're young, you're just like, oh, okay, you know, you're just kind of going. But I was gonna tell you. So yeah, my parents were like, you know, you need to go take advantage of these opportunities. And so it kind of just like went on this whirlwind, like, you know, did like all sorts of different like Playboy shoots, swim shoots, a lot of different really big name companies. I was really fortunate. It was I was like a good time to do Playboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't heard any bad experiences.
Right.
Well, I feel like towards the end, it was like, Hef is no longer, right. I feel like a lot shifted.
Yeah.
Like
Once he passed. Yeah.
Yeah, and even before then, it's just a lot of the energy of like how the parties were, and then Marilyn, it was stopped being there, and so yeah. But what's I gonna tell you guys? Oh, it'll come back around to me. But
okay.
Oh, so funny. So I ended up running into the guy after. So my
oh, okay.
Right. So my shoe comes out. When your shoe comes out, they make you do like a promo tour. Right. And so at the time I was born and raised in Las Vegas. And so that's where they wanted me to do my promo tour. One of the places was at this like big music shop. And I kid you not, I go in to do they made like this big poster of me, and I left it there, and I was doing my, round. So I came back to pick up the poster, and guess who I run into? I run into the guy. It was the most weirdest thing. I was like, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. But I always felt like I was supposed to do Playboy. It was just like, I don't know.
It's funny. So, we've heard that from other Playmates that we've interviewed as well, that they just, felt that from early on, and
right.
And it ended up going that way.
Almost
so
a child dream.
I remember looking at the poster, and I used to be so just so fascinated with all the photography and like how, like all of the beautiful girls. And I was like, oh, it's like, I'm going to do play. And it was just kind of set in my head, like from when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
They definitely do it right. They did do it right,
And we've also heard the story about the photos and breaking, and other models breaking down in tears because you have to sit there for so long for that single shot or whatever.
Yes.
Some of the positions aren't as comfortable as they look.
Like my head was up here, and it was head tilt here. You're just like, it's nerve-wracking, but I'm super grateful for the experience. And really, you don't realize it at the time, but you are exposed to so many experiences and people and sisterhood, and it's like an extended family. I think one of the things I probably regret is not submerging myself more. It's like I was, at the time I had a boyfriend. I was so concerned with my boyfriend, just silly stuff. And I look back and I'm like, I should have just like really submerged, and I took even more advantage of a lot of the opportunities that were presented to me. But I'm really grateful.
So real quick, when you saw the ex-boyfriend in the music store, did you talk to him? Did you rub it in a little bit? Yeah.
I was like, hi.
Good for you. Good for you.
So yeah, when I seen him, I was like, hi.
Nice.
Funny how life is, though, right?
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the way that was supposed to work.
Yeah, he was so nice, so it felt good.
Yeah.
A little revenge. You had now you worked for Playboy as well as a promotional model. Is that right?
So you go when you do. So say you go on, you are chosen to be a Playboy Playmate,
Sure.
and you have like a 2-year contract. At the time, for me, I guess that's how it was. I don't know how it is or how it was like later on, but at the time, so you do a 2-year contract with them. And during that time, so you do like your initial promotions, and then if you want, you can do additional promotions. If you want to do other events and stuff, and people will call Playboy all the time looking to hire the Playmates. So I did a lot of stuff in Las Vegas. I traveled all over for them, actually. And then I started to get really deep into the newsstand specials. So it's like I ended up doing like one of the top 100 model, like all the different stuff. It's like a full circuit if you really want to dive in,
Sure. Which we did, or I did, we did with some of the episodes and your videos you made.
Sometimes I wonder if I ever should have not made those. they're everywhere. Who would have thought the internet? And now
Mhm.
like, I have like some of these, I have a conservative business. I have a couple different, projects and things going on. And, people just Google people these days.
Right.
That's just what they do.
Right.
Sometimes I'm just like, well, can't get around it.
You can't get it. Yes, can't avoid it.
They're there. They're there. The internet's forever.
Yeah.
So at the time, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so at the time you're making the videos, which were like given as promotions or extra gift with the subscription. And that was it. Well, now they're everywhere.
Oh, I know. They're ever. So the thing about Playboy, I want to say, like, and not to downplay any of the other, erotic magazines and things like that. I always felt like Playboy was very classy. It was never really anything like, it started to kind of get a little bit at the end when they were closing out, I could see, but like, it was always really beautifully done, really classy. But you know what I regret is like, once you're a playmate, once you go on the internet, they take your name as a playmate and put it to porn sites to try to drive traffic. Right. So you can like touch on a video that's not me, but they're clicking on my name. So you could very well think it's me, doing porn. Right. So that part really kind of, there's nothing you can do about it. They take your name and all the playmates' names for that matter, and try to kind of connect it to drive traffic. And I never did any porn, I did like all like the Playboy stuff like that. But that's the only thing where I'm like, geez, guys,
Yeah.
Right. It's too bad.
I suppose you could try and get to do some cease and desist stuff, but as soon as you get one of them to stop, the next one's going to pop up, and
they're just everywhere. The porn industry is really kind of just taken over. And so I'm just like, I don't know, what do you do?
So I was watching one of the videos for research, just to get to know you, your personality.
Which one?
Wet Heat.
Okay, who was that one? What was that one with?
It was they interviewed you between some I'm trying to think where you were, a balcony almost of a house. It was like a balcony of a house outside.
The terrible Spanish music.
It could have been it, yeah.
Oh God. All like, Lord help me, of all the videos you watch, it's that one. It's just like, I can't even believe the choice of music they put with it. I was just like, really? And Lisa Cole shot that. So the shots were really amazing, but the video was just, I was like, oh yeah.
Well, it would but they interviewed you during it.
Okay, what did I say?
Well, at the time they asked you 3 words to describe yourself. So at the time, and I don't know what year that was done. So I'm just wondering what 3 words you would use today, because at the time of the video shoot, you said fun, spontaneous, and then with a pause, a little crazy. The quote. That's a quote.
Oh, that's probably partially still true.
That was a very fun answer.
Yeah.
And it looked like, like you were having fun when you did it. So
yeah. I think a lot of it was for show too. Like they kind of like, but yeah, but there's definitely probably some truth to that.
Okay. So it still holds true.
So I read you graduated high school at 16?
No, I didn't graduate high school, guys. No.
Wow.
I realized at a really young age, I really wanted to work, and I have a dance background.
Okay.
So I actually wanted to go and I wanted to do a show on the Strip. And so I was really like committed to like doing a show on the Strip. I knew that I could do my GED. So I actually took my GED at 16. I moved out at 16, was traveling and, modeling, and eventually connected with Randy Jackson. And he was really helpful. But then I was like a big baby and I wanted to come home. So, but yeah, like at 16, so I just knew, like, I was always like, and I loved Office. That's the other thing. I always loved to play Office. I I don't know. I just knew I was done with school.
Sure.
Okay.
It's obviously worked out for you.
It really has. Like, I never look back and say, oh man, I really like, I was always really kind of a little entrepreneurial. Like, as a child, I loved the door-to-door sales, and like, I really loved all of that. And so, you know, fast forward now, I'm like top producer in real estate. And yeah, it's just like, yeah. But so I didn't graduate. I got my
Okay.
That's why you can't trust these things on the internet. See, not even the bios are true, much less the videos.
All stuff. Oh, where'd you get that? They said I would love that. They made me sound really smart. They graduated at 16.
I think that was right on IMDb.
Oh, great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did have the dancer part too. So
did you tour any dancing? Did
I
you do any
wanted to-
shows?
I was really obsessed with the show there's a show here at the time called Splash.
oh yeah.
I was so obsessed with the show and the things. And then really, I got swept up by Playboy. I actually ended up coming back through, and they had me stop there, I think, for one of my promotions and go backstage. And I don't know, I forget what happened, but I was obsessed with that. And I did end up doing the show. I ended up getting really embedded with Playboy and traveling around doing promotions and all that whole circuit. So I did not, it was like this weird kind of turning point of like, was I going to stay and finish pursuing and doing a show, or was I, and then, yeah, fate had its hand, and I was like, oh, I guess this is what I didn't want to, yeah.
Okay.
Playboy took over.
And
I really did. Like, I just kind of like, my whole life changed in a matter of a week. And then people tell you like, oh, you're like, my life literally, I was dating a guy that probably, was not probably the best guy for me. And literally it was just like, they had it and just kind of changed my whole life in 1 week.
That's awesome.
well, then you signed a 2-year contract. Yeah, that's your life for 2 years. Then
Yeah. And you don't know anything. You're 19. You're just like, yeah, let's go for it.
Right? What better way to, I can't even imagine. You get to
No.
go see the world and
You just are like, whoa, actually, I probably should have plugged in more. I really look back and I'm like, oh man, there's a lot
Well,
of things to turn down.
what was your favorite place that you traveled to? Country or
Playboy, or just my favorite place I've ever traveled to?
both? How about both?
I really enjoyed traveling to New York with Playboy. New York and Chicago. I really loved the people that were, because they had a Chicago office and a New York office, and I just really enjoyed traveling and going and working there and doing shoots there and promotions there.
Okay.
And then, and if I had to say, if I have any favorite place, it would be Italy.
oh, nice.
Love Italy. Yep. If you ever go, the island of Capri, they call it the Mermaid Islands. And
Okay.
there's these blue caves there. It's just magical, really magical. What about you guys?
Okay. Well, now I know I want to go.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to Italy. It's like, when I leave there, I get sad.
And you were in the Italian edition of Vogue with Pamela Anderson and a few others.
That was true. David Chappelle shot that, and it was really, that was a great shoot. I always loved him as a photographer, and I couldn't believe I got to shoot with him and
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson, and Karen McDougal, I think, was in that shoot. So, and we ended up shooting it here.
Oh, okay.
It was, oddly enough, they ended up shooting at the Palm. We shot sometimes in the Palms, and like did a really, yeah. So we did Italian Vogue. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I was wondering. Okay, so that's not even how you ended up in Italy the first time.
They came here.
Awesome.
Okay. You never know.
Yeah.
Make it look like Italy.
Yeah.
Do you,
How long have you guys been doing this show? I'm so curious.
About a year. We're coming up on a year. This will be episode probably number 40, 41 for us.
A lot of episodes, and I'm just curious what inspired you guys to do, because do you guys just interview Playmates, or
It's
some might say that, but no.
No, we don't. We just interviewed recently. We interviewed Raylan Nelson, who's Willie Nelson's granddaughter. She's a musician. We've introduced
Comedians.
or interviewed a couple, a comedian, a couple independent filmmakers. And then
Which are out of Las Vegas.
yeah.
Adrian Lynn just came out with a movie that he filmed in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And Pat,
Yeah,
lives out there. So
yeah. So
there's a little connection.
it just got started because we travel, we do a lot of road tripping together and crack each other up in the car on the road trips, and thought we should record some of this and put it out. And that's how it started. And then we lucked our way into getting Deborah Driggs as our first guest, and that just kind of transitioned. So yeah.
You know her?
I don't know her well, but I met her and she was always very kind.
Yeah. She was sweet. So
She was.
yeah. And then it went to Echo, from her to Echo and Karina, and they've been so great to us. So
Message with Echo today.
yeah.
Okay.
I think they started doing a podcast as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
They did. It's about Playboy experiences is what they talk about. They have guests from the mansion that come in, the Playboy Chronicles.
Yep.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Very fun.
Bunny Chronicles.
Bunny Chronicles.
Bunny Chronicles. Yeah.
Bunny Chronicles. Yeah, that's what she was saying.
So yeah, it started out we were just going to talk amongst ourselves, and then we just started talking to other people and kind of do a theme with the cocktails because we like to drink.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
So fun. So is
That's-
this considered a podcast?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And we'll because we're not live right now. You will edit this thing and put it out in a couple of weeks and go from there. But yeah. So how did you go from Playboy to real estate then? What got you into real estate?
You know what? It's another thing. When I was a kid, I always was obsessed with houses, and my mom would drive me from one side of the city to the other. And I was like, I'm going to own a house. I'm like,
wow.
I'm 18, I'm going to own a house. I was like, when I can, as soon as I can, I'm going to own a house. And so I wasn't 18, but I was like, great. So I took my Playboy money and bought a house.
Okay.
And then I realized, and then I really got into it. And as I started working, I said, I started calculating, and I was like, I wanted to invest in real estate. And I started calculating. Initially, I was just going from the investment in, and I said, there's commissions here. I'm going to I'll take my license and do my own deals, right? So initially was just doing it for myself. And when I got into it, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do. And as much as I love modeling and Playboy and just modeling in general and that whole turn, I wanted something more, right? So I wanted something more fulfilling. I wanted something that challenged me, right? So that's really what happened. So I got that in 2005, I got mine. So 17 years I've been in real estate, and I'm still like completely I'm still passionate about it. I still get challenged. There's still so much to learn, and you never get bored. You get to connect with so many different people, and I'm constantly going to conferences, and there's just new ways of doing business because life is just evolving. There's always something new. So just always on the next set, there's always something to do. You're never bored as a realtor.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I would imagine. And the way things change. Yeah. You always got to adapt to the change of the market.
I look back and I think we do everything electronically. I don't know. I thought there's a picture of me with this big old cell phone. Everything is so different.
And you just won an award recently. Just recently won an award as one of the top producers in the Las Vegas realtor market.
I did. Yeah, I did 40 transactions last year during COVID. It was really, all by myself. And I don't even think I realized it because I'm a little bit of a workaholic. So I just kind of put my head down and was working. Next thing I lifted up and everyone's like, you did this. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't know. I did not reach out for that. That wasn't something. So it was a nice surprise. It's nice to get acknowledged for your hard work, when you're just it's a lot of real estate is hard work.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thanks, guys.
Real estate is a job that never stops, right? I mean, you're never away from it. So
yeah, it's just, there's always something. I call it realtor life. Like there's always stuff, you have to shut off. You have to just say, okay, I'm going to stop tonight because this never ends.
Well, right. Yeah, I know. So we appreciate for sure you giving us a little bit of your time, because I'm sure your phone is probably ringing and there's probably business that you're missing as you're talking to us. So
is it hard?
Keep up with, I realize with all this, with, because I think I was probably the last person to get on Instagram. They forced me and pushed me to get on Twitter. And now kind of Twitter's a little bit of a ghost town, but I finally got onto Instagram, and I can't keep up with like the messages from Instagram to Facebook to text message, my emails. I have like 3 different emails. So try, but I'll never have a life. So sorry, I know sometimes it takes me a minute to get back.
no,
but I always do get back. It just
Yeah.
takes me a minute.
no,
Okay.
that's quite all right. We definitely understand that. So, and not like being a guest on a podcast is probably your first order of business. So we definitely get it.
Oh, well, I
But we're-
thought we would have fun. I thought, well, this would be a nice break from all the seriousness, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we try to do. Have
And
a
help
little
you,
fun.
promote. And like we said, a little connection with Vegas, and definitely will give you a chance to promote your Instagram and the realtor you work for and all that.
Oh, great. Yeah, thanks, guys.
So is it hard when you see new houses do you fall in love with houses and hard to sell them to someone else that you just want them? Because you were saying how much you love houses.
Yeah, we don't hardly have any inventory right now. It's like, I don't know what it's like over there. It's like, there's hardly anything. So it's a really hard time to be a realtor, because it's like, there's, 10, 20 offers, 30 offers on a house right now.
Yep. Yeah, the market's really hot here too, where
Yeah.
most houses are selling over listing and you're getting multiple offers. And
I'm getting calls from investors. They're like, do you have anything off market? I'm like, no one's putting stuff off market. They want it on market to get as many offers as they can.
right.
Yeah, like and they're like, I got a call today. It's like, well, will you put it they were asking, like, it was an investment property, 289. Like, will you put an offer in 250 cash? And I was like, no. they're not gonna accept it.
Not wasting time. Yeah.
Like, so it's just but do I fall? I love houses.
Mhm.
And watching like the design aspects and stuff like that. But no, I one of my favorite things is, I think, pairing up and finding someone their house, like they're like, oh, we can't find anything. I'm like, I can find it. I will
Yeah.
find it for you.
Oh, okay. That'd be neat to be able to, their personality, you get to know them and then match the house personality. Okay, that's neat.
And
But some people are moving in here and they don't, like, I'm from here, so I'm like, I know exactly what's what. That's the advantage, I think, because it's like I know every inch of the city. So I'm like, oh, I know what you want, and I know where I can get it. I sometimes have to door knock to get it, but I get it.
wow. Yeah. So are there a lot of people moving to Vegas still?
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people from California, Arizona, Utah. I think one, for the tax purposes, and 2, believe it or not, it's still very affordable to live here. So the same house here in California is 3 to 5 times the amount. So that's why they come in here and they're like, oh, they can buy a $400,000 house that'd be $1.2 million there, and they don't paying 20, 30, 40 grand over. They're like, no problem. They rather they think it's a deal.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of your Instagram, when I was looking at it the other day, I see there was you're involved with the Women's Council of Realtors. What is that whole operation? It seems
so what happened is I got an invitation. Well, not an invitation. They nominated a bunch of women for the top 25 women in real estate. So that's and so I was one of the women. I didn't even think I was going to get it. Another thing I was surprised about when I got the email. I had to read it a couple times. I was like, is this I was like, are they kidding me? They want me to buy something.
right.
I had to read it a couple times and I was like, wow. I was like, that's really nice. And so so they asked you, just like, they nominate you and you like submit an application, and then I was me and 25 other women were voted for the top 25 women in real estate. And another I was really just honored and humbled because I didn't expect it. I just really like when you're working, I really made a goal this year to just kind of put my head down, work, and just be of service. And that's really where I was. So when I thought those two things got about, I literally lifted up and I was like, really? You know? So I think that's what made it even more special is I just didn't expect it.
Definitely. What is it? I mean, what's the whole, are you a member of it, or is it just, was that another award or?
Yeah, just another award.
Okay.
They pick, so there's, I didn't realize, but I guess there's 17,000 realtors, and about half of those are women. And what they do is they find out like who, one, for your production, and two, your contribution to community, like your overall, like who you are overall. And so, yeah, there was like 100, I think 120 women, 125 women nominated. And then they pick down that number and they narrow it down to 25 women. So it's like based on your production, like what you possibly have done for the community. Just like you, like a well-rounded person, right? So not just real estate, but you as a human being.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
it's even better.
Yeah, right.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
What else? So what do you do to have fun other than work?
Sleep. I love to sleep. No, I like to work out, hang with family. I love great restaurants. I'm always good for shopping in a spa, mini trips, and just connecting with friends, and family. I work so much. It's just nice to just, connect with my friends and family. I go and do dinners with my family every so often. My parents cook. But yeah.
Do you have a favorite restaurant on the Strip?
Oh, there's so many good ones, guys.
I know it's been a decade since I've been there, but I remember Boa Steakhouse that I loved.
Oh, yeah, I love Boa. I mean, I live right around the street from Encore, and they've got some Encore and Wynn have some of my favorite restaurants. You can't go wrong in there.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I love food though.
Yeah.
I agree. It is wonderful. Do you enjoy gambling, or is that like, I've been around it my whole life, don't care?
Funny, when you live here, you don't gamble. You're like, no.
I don't.
I have before, not that I haven't.
Sure.
But I always say, like, I remember I was kind of getting into, I was having some fun with some sports betting, and then I was like, oh no. And so I stopped, but it's for me, I don't really, if I watch sports, I like to have a little bit of action on it. So
Yeah.
Like that, just a little bit of action,
Right?
just to make it happen.
Makes
a little bit of action, make it a little fun.
Right.
Exactly.
I would imagine though, any out of state friends that visit, they're all like, let's go to the casino, and you're like,
Oh
again.
yeah, I live in the center of the city, and I particularly live in the center of the city just because I have so many people that come in and out. So it's kind of easy. So if they come here, and it's like, adult Disneyland for them. But when you're here, just like, you go have nice dinner, hang for a minute. But yeah.
Then get back off the Strip.
I have a friend that moved out there, Pahrump, I believe. The city Pahrump. Am I saying that right?
Pahrum's like the new up and coming. Like, yeah, like you go, it's like maybe like an hour away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Good real estate deals.
There you go.
There, the same house there is $100,000 less there.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, they moved there quite a couple of years ago. So, well, I'll let him know if he's ever looking for another house.
I'm just always curious. I'm curious how people move to Las Vegas, and then even more curious how you moved to Pahrump.
I don't have an answer why he moved there.
Like job, family, a girl, or it sounds like it's a couple.
It is a couple, right? They moved together. And they're older. All their children are grown, and so they didn't retire, but I don't know why they picked there. Maybe it was cheaper, but an hour. Last time I was in Vegas, he drove up and met me for a little bit, and his girlfriend works at a casino, but like in the accounting or something like that. not
Okay.
a deal or anything. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll have to ask them why there.
Why not?
Yeah, I
why
never
not
had
there?
never even asked that question, but either way, it's been 5 years
Yeah.
about since I've been there. So it's time to get back. We talked about going back.
Yeah, all of a sudden we've made so many connections in Las Vegas. I think we've talked to more people from Las Vegas than anywhere else. So
Really?
yeah.
Who?
Well, we've talked to Karina Harney. She's
Okay.
been, and then Adrian Leon, who made the movie, and Pat Kupo, who starred in the movie. Karina was in this movie. That's how we got connected with these people.
What's the name of the movie?
It's Kindred.
Kindred.
Yeah.
And I think Dorinda moved, and Dorinda was a playmate as well.
Who's that?
Her sister.
Oh.
Karina's sister, Dorinda. I think they were both playmate of the year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She didn't mention that.
Ask her about that. I'm pretty sure Dorinda was a playmate.
Wow.
Okay.
And I think how Karina maybe became, I don't know. I don't remember. How did Karina become a playmate? Did she say from her sister?
No.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
I don't think
no.
so.
Maybe I'm wrong, guys. Double check with Karina about her. I'm pretty sure Dorinda was a playmate.
Okay.
Have to check into that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I thought.
Fun connection, but
Yeah. And then
either way.
we're also Friday night we're talking with Naraya Davis, who
Oh, I love Nora.
yeah, that's what she said about you, and we messaged her. So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, she's I think she's kind of moved into photography, and
yep.
Mhm.
she has some beautiful children.
Yeah. So are you still doing Reiki?
Mhm.
And are you involved with the holistic house yet?
So, well, so I don't know if you guys know, but I ended up, there was this time, it was actually like I was like coming in through Playboy, I got really sick and they didn't know what was wrong with me.
Okay.
And for me, it was because of my breast implants, and then and then there was some other stuff going on, and so no one could figure out what was wrong. But long story short, it took me. I initially was in school for my naturopath, right?
Okay.
And that's really, it was always my heart. Like I was always kind of that weird little kid that was like, doing detoxes when I was like 10. My I was doing it's for 10-year-olds doing a detox, right? Like it was like taking vitamins and herbs and hanging out at the health food store doing Indian sweats. Like that was me,
Wow.
I can imagine, So that was I was always kind of into nature and healing. And so when I got into Playboy and like modeling, it really kind of took me off of that path. But full circle, when I got sick, it brought me back to that path. And I was like a high functioning entrepreneur, really successful, to literally bedbound, couldn't leave the house. And it was a pretty intense time. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm either going to die or die trying to get better. Right. And so I really submerged myself back into healing. And I eventually found these sacraments. And one of them was this medicine called Kambo. And Kambo is actually from Brazil, like the upper Amazon, and it's from a giant monkey tree frog. It's much more prevalent now, and I think a little bit more mainstream. But the time, this is back like 9 years ago, right? So yeah, probably 9 years ago. And so even further, yeah, about 9 years ago. So anyways, I ended up finding this. I was just so desperate to get better. I found this medicine from Amazon and eventually brought it back to the United States. I was one of a handful of people who brought it here and one of the first people to bring it to Las Vegas, but it saved my life. And when that happened, I thought, well, if I would have known about this sooner, right, then I could have been saved from the suffering that I went through. So it was kind of like my dharma. And I think my life path is like a way to give back. So I moved into helping a lot of other people who had like chronic illness and all different, stages of their healing journey. And at one point we even opened up an aftercare, like a rehab, basically, where people are going to do, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a sacrament called Ibogaine. It's from Africa, Gabon. It's not legal here, but it is legal in Mexico and Costa Rica, and it basically resets the brain to the pre-addictive state, and it can release trauma out of the body. It's an ancestral medicine. So anyways,
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, it's powerful. If you guys ever get a chance to research it. So basically, we were finding that people, so if you look at it, so NAAA like have like a 6 or maybe like a 3 to 5% success rate. And then like regular rehabs are having like a 6 to 10% success rate. Well, people who went and did Ibogaine coupled with a good aftercare, not going home back to their like, like triggers or, people, places and things.
sure.
They actually had a 60 to 80% success rate.
Wow.
Yeah, it's powerful. So I dived really deep into that path of learning all of these modalities and these sacraments. And one of the things that was really pressed upon is that there needed to be an aftercare. There was plenty of practitioners that were administering this Ibogaine, but no one was offering like an aftercare, place where people could go and basically relearn their lives, right? Relearn and reset themselves. So that's how the Holistic House got started. It was the first Ibogaine aftercare clinic in the United States, and I worked with a lot of people with them with the Kambo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. That's wow.
Still involved with that?
So still involved. So it was so at the time, so how it got started is with somebody that was somebody I was with, I was dating, and then it was like people were living in our home, it was a bit intense. So after 4 years, we kind of like went, it was just time. It was time. So, but I do still help people, and they come to my home, and they'll receive like what we call sessions or sits. So I still do that, for people that need it.
Okay.
So when you're not busy enough doing doing real estate, now you got this going on as well, huh?
I'm like they tease me. They're like, you only got 10 jobs. Like I'm always doing something, but I love it. It's a passion. Like, listen, it's not like Kambo's not something you do for money. Like, it really consumes a lot of time. It's like, it's a calling. It's like I am the person that everybody reaches out to, the hard cases that none of the other practitioners want to touch. And I think full circle, coming back is like, when I went through kind of my deep healing journey, I never could understand why that happened. And then I fast forward and I think, had I not gone through that, I wouldn't be able to help and serve these people the way that I do, because I've been there, right? So, and I walked that walk. So how do you help somebody that you haven't done that yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And they're pretty heavy cases where people are like, I'm treating like, people that are coming off the streets shooting heroin, I never shot heroin. That wasn't my thing, but I understand the addiction process of being with the Kambo to help them come off of that. So it's I say a dharma, it's spirit driven, like, and so, yeah, I juggle that along with everything else I'm doing.
Well, that's gotta be very rewarding.
Yeah.
You said this stuff is legal in Costa Rica. Going back to when you asked our favorite places to be, Costa Rica is one of mine. Have you ever been?
I haven't been to Costa Rica. No, we had a lot of clients that went to Costa Rica. And more importantly, they went to Mexico. They go across the border because there's tons of Ibogaine clinics. Kambo is legal, just so you know. So Kambo is from the giant monkey tree frog, and believe it or not, it's so mainstream now. Like, you'll see people with these dots and you'll be like, oh, that's my Kambo. And it's really kind of very similar. I don't know if you guys ever heard of ayahuasca.
Yeah. Yep.
So very similar, like a lot of the tribes work with the ayahuasca and the Kambo together. Kambo is not a hallucinogenic. Ayahuasca obviously is an altered experience. Ayahuasca is not necessarily considered legal, though they're trying to that and mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's moving into that. They're using it for therapy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the Kambo, completely legal. You're completely grounded in your body. A session is usually about 2 hours, but the time is about 15 to 20 minutes that they're working with it. And now that I've told you about it, you guys will probably start like, it's everywhere now in the United States.
Okay.
There's
It's
not
funny.
go to, I get it.
It's funny when you hear about stuff like this, all of a sudden you do start to hear about it everywhere. The first time I heard about ayahuasca was probably 6 months ago, and now I hear about it all the time, you know? So yeah, it's crazy.
It's kind of like circles and circles. I remember when I first heard about it, I was like, that's intense. Like, and then like it kept coming around. And by the third time, I was like, oh, I need to pay attention.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So with this Kambo, you're not puking your guts out like ayahuasca.
So it is a purgative. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. So it's actually a shamanic energy clearing medicine. They use it in the Amazon. What they call clearing, it's panema. So panema is in the Amazons and the tribes when nothing seems to be right. A heaviness, not feeling like oneself. They're like, there's sickness that falls upon them. They're like not feeling able to move forward. So they refer to that as panema. So I see a lot of people that are like, they come to me, they're like, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I never felt this, and they don't know. And they come and sit with Kambo, and then they're like, whoa, I feel like myself again, But sometimes that entails purging.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay.
I'm on an antidepressant. I'm on Zoloft, and trying to figure out a way to get myself off of Zoloft. I don't want to be on Zoloft my entire life. So
many people that are coming because they want to come. They've tried everything. I'm usually the last place they go where they've tried everything else, and then like, I heard about you. You helped my friend get off of this. I need to get off of this. So I help people to get off Xanax, antidepressant. Like it's a whole process, and they use the Kambo. It's really the Kambo that helps them because it allows them. They work with their doctor to do a taper, and then they'll sit with the Kambo to basically flush it out. Because if you want to know, like, without doing airy fairy, the science of it is that there's peptides, and then these peptides are able to unlock into our cells and pull out any stored toxins, traumas, or blockages. And so if you know the body, so basically we all have a tendency to hold things, sometimes not even our stuff, in places in our body, right? And then all of a sudden we start having blockages, and the person doesn't feel like themselves. They're feeling anxious, they're feeling depressed, and they're not knowing. And really it's because stuff has got stored in their body. And so Kambo actually kind of helps it's so smart, it has nature's intelligence. It goes in and you can feel it kind of just scan the body. And not everyone vomits purging that way. Sometimes you can just get hot, cold, cry, shake, maybe you've used the bathroom, it is a purgative, but It releases that energy out of the body. So, and that's what helps. I look now and I'm like, I don't know how people don't use Kambo, because I mean, it's like, I don't know what I would do without it. It allows me to function at the way that I function. They also use it as hunters in there. They like in the Amazon, they become really precise hunters. Like they take the Kambo and they're like, makes you really strong and clear. And people ask me, how do you do what you do? And I go, Kambo all day long.
So how often do you do it?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
I mean, do you do it? Yeah. What's your schedule or process?
So, well, because I serve it, right? I will sit like every 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes sooner. I'm going to tell you something. I get this question all the time. They're like, well, I get it with clients because they get an inoculation a lot of times, which is a new sitter. It's like 3 sits within a moon cycle, 30 days. And then I never see them again. Or I see them every few months. You just know, like, and I know it will sound crazy. I'll say, you'll start seeing frogs will start coming in your dreams, and you'll just wake up and you'll be like, I need to sit with that frog again. So they'll call me. They're like, Tish, I had dreams of frogs, like you told me. You're like, I have to come. I need to sit again. So that happens, or they'll start like seeing frogs everywhere, and it's like, I know it's going to sound crazy, guys. It's a shamanic spirit medicine. I swear, you sit with it. It's like, I don't know if you believe in like spirit animals and things like that. It becomes kind of like an ally. And I tell you, it'll come for you. It calls you. And if you don't listen, it'll keep calling for you. You're like, I know, I just know when I need to sit. And there's times where I'm like, man, I don't want to sit. I don't feel like sitting. And it's like, oh, you better get in there and just sit and clean and,
So you should be with someone when you do it.
Well, so I serve myself, but I would never suggest somebody. I'm highly trained. Like I'm one of the handful of master practitioners in the country. I would never tell you to because people are buying stuff off the internet, but you come and you sit with somebody and they basically, administer it and
Okay.
hold that space for you. So you're safe,
Yeah. Sounds like that's the way to do it.
Right. Yeah. Well,
especially for me and the shit that's going to come out of me, I would say I would need someone there.
And I just want to say, because a lot of people don't know, you can actually receive it and it be a really gentle process. If you're with the right practitioner and they know, they can literally, you can sit with it and have a really smooth process. And of course, if you do a bunch of medicine, you can go real deep in it as well, like anything else, but you don't have to have how there's stuff on the internet. And I always say, yeah, it's good to research the stuff on the internet, but that's not necessarily how your experience is going to be. And so, yeah, I would just make sure you sit and make sure you tell, if you want, go gentle,
It's funny because we do these interviews and we spoke with Carrie Kendall recently too, who does some tarot cards. Yeah. And we want
too.
What's that?
She's a little witchy too.
She is. She's awesome. We just met her in person 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, we went down to Chicago and
did the radio show with her.
Did she do a tarot reading for you guys?
We're going to have it done and then talk about it on the podcast. And now I'm thinking I want to do this thing and then talk about that too.
Yeah. Come get your Cambo.
Right?
Cambo.
Yeah. I want
that's
to
half the fun is learning new stuff. And
I want to get out this fucking Zoloft.
It's life-changing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I look back, I'm like, oh man, if I would have known about this sooner. I took the hard road because nobody was there. But I see so many people that they are, come off of all their prescription stuff, recreational stuff, and they're just like, wow, it's changed my life. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, when you see the passion in you talking about it,
right.
it's infectious. You can I know you're very passionate about your real estate too, obviously, but you could when we started talking about this, it just felt like you just started to beam. So
yeah, it's my heart. It's truly a labor of love because it saved my life. And it's still to this day, I am surrounded by so many different people and energies and situations and circumstances. And there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't know what I would not be the person I am today without it.
Yeah.
Even when I sit with it, I'm like, wow, because you feel that energy build up in the body. And most people, if you've not sat with Cambo, you don't know the difference. But when you sat and you cleanse your body and then that stuff starts building up, you're like, whoa, I ain't going back there. Right. I'm not going to feel that way again. So I'm just grateful to have it. And it's now it's literally, no one knew about it, but now we call it the rainbow prophecy, where the Amazonian, all of the Amazonian modalities and the sacraments are coming to the United States. And that's why you're seeing this influx of healing all over the country of Cambo and ayahuasca. And, they're trying to, legalize, psilocybin, and you're seeing this influx. And it's really because the old way is not, and there's let me just say, the old way is not working, but there's always a place for allopathic medicine, but they're just there's this shift happening, to help with this, everything that's going on here, and just the growth of the United States and healing.
In healing, I think you hit it on the head. If people want to be happy and they want to be healed, and natural is the best way.
Yeah, if you hear, you'll hear this statement, if you sit with ayahuasca, it's one night is 7 years of talk therapy, and it is. It's you go there, and there's a place for talk therapy, but there's a place for these sacraments that now that's why I think you're just seeing if they're as long as they're responsibly administered, in a safe space. That's the most important. But yeah, I see some people and their lives change, and they're women that weren't able to get pregnant before are able to they become fertile, and
Oh, wow.
depression and anxiety. And so yeah, it's like watching it, it's like it's watching that and seeing that and hearing that, you're like, wow, that's just amazing to be able to be a part of that, and it's pretty cool.
So is this something you promote? Like, do you have a website or anything for this, or is just kind of word of mouth
for you?
I don't promote it. I mean, I have a website, just because I kind of send people there who are curious. I don't have to keep like kind of go. So I do have a website so it's www.cambolove.com.
Okay.
Right? AMBOLOVE. And I'll tell you the funny story how that happened is when I was initially using this medicine to heal myself, right? And I got pretty deep into the process, and people had heard about me getting better, and I was like, they were calling me asking me to give it to them, and I was like, oh no, it's one thing if I hurt myself, nothing if I hurt you, like I'm like, it's not something you run around and give people. But sure. I was I always was like kind of like out there, like always doing kind of extreme stuff. So it wasn't really, now knowing what I know, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Right. Like, but at the time people had heard about me getting better, and they had kept asking me to give them the Cambo. And I was like, no. So one person, one day, I'll never forget it, they called me super desperate. They're like, we really need this medicine. We tried everything. We know you have this medicine. You can give it to us. And I was like, let me call you back. And I got off the phone, and I was praying in my car, literally praying in my car. And I was like, what is this? Right. And I was like, why is this happening? These people keep reaching out to me because they were wanting this medicine. I knew there was something to it, but never in my thoughts. I was like, am I going to be serving Cambo? That was not in the cards. Right.
Sure.
Really said to myself, I said, you know what, if this is something I'm supposed to be doing, like I need like clear signs. I need a mentor. I need, somebody to help support me in this process, to be able to help and learn to administer it to others. And at that time, I kid you not, I'm driving in the car, and this car gets in front of me, and there's a license plate, and the license plate says FROGLUV. I swear to God, it's in my Facebook on my Cambo Love. And I took a picture, and I'm like, oh my God, mind blown. I said, okay. I said, I surrender. If you want me to do this, and it literally just like, because people ask me all the time, how did you get into serving Cambo? And I'm going to tell you, Cambo found me. I did not have any intention. And it was literally like that. So Cambo Love was from that. So frog love. And that's where it came from. And I initially, my teacher, I flew like all over different parts of different countries into the Amazon, studying and learning this medicine, learning from different medicine people, shamans and tribes, and just bringing the information back to the United States.
That had to have been extremely interesting to just learn all that from them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fascinating, but I love it. It's like a piece of me. Like I think I was a medicine woman in many lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's
I love that you call yourself the medicine woman.
It's, oh man. And like I said, the passion is just infectious. It's great to listen to you talk about this stuff.
Oh, I could talk about Cambo forever. I love it. It just, there's so much to it. Like you start getting into that world. There's a medicine called rapé or hape. It's this Amazonian snuff. Like it's a mapacho base. They've been prayed over it for many hours, and they actually administer it. It's also used to clear. What they actually use it for is to clear sickness in the body, but you can use it to clear energies and rebalance the brain, balance the body, remove any mental chatter. Like I tease, like I don't drink or participate in any, recreational things. My body just won't allow it. But I have friends from all walks of life, and they all are at different, they all do their thing, whatever their thing is. And so I tease, and they go to happy hour and I go to hape hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you're talking to a couple of guys having cocktails.
Yeah. All my friends, I have friends from all walks of life. So, but they tease me, I've always been a little kind of like out there.
A little bit crazy, as the video said.
I think now I don't say crazy, I say amazing.
Yeah, right.
There you go.
Right, right. I would agree with that too. Absolutely.
After hearing, absolutely.
Well, why don't you go ahead and promote anything you'd like to promote?
I would like to ask one quick thing.
One more question.
Yeah.
This is kind of been bothering me. Going back to your real estate and your Playboy days, does it get brought up by people when you're showing them houses or anything? Do they talk about it? Do they ask you about it? If so, was it weird or not? Really?
I think, we're in that day and age where, people meet you and I'm sure they want to know who's selling them their house, right? Like, I think a lot of people, not everybody, but we're in that Google age.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people know and they don't say anything. And I have had some clients say, well, we know. And I'm like, and I just laugh, because it was 1999. I was 19, 20 years old. I'm 43 now, right? So I was just like, yeah,
Well, it's just a great thing that we hear, that it's a part of your life and proud of it, and embrace it.
There was 12 of us picked a year, right? It was
right.
So, and there, you're going to have people with people that are really, they're huge Playboy fans. And then you've got some people that were maybe not Playboy fans or whatever. But for me, I just say that was part of my path. I knew I was supposed to be Playmate. I don't ever regret it. And I am so grateful for the opportunities and the experiences. And like I said, I was thinking, Michael, there was 12 girls picked a year and there were so many girls that wanted to be a Playmate. And
right.
Didn't, and not that there was beautiful girls that got submitted, right? Like I myself submitted girls, and when they turned their girls down, I'm like, how'd they turn her down?
Sure.
But it was like this, it was like this certain way with different girls, and it was just like literally 12 girls were picked a year. So I'm super going on.
You're part of an exclusive club for sure.
So before you promote, which one of the medications that we talk about keeps you looking 29 when you're 43? Camel, all right. I'm on board.
I call it, they get the Botox side. They call it my Frotox. That's my Botox.
Everything comes back to the frogs. I love it.
You follow the frog, you'll never go wrong.
Yeah, there we go. Well, thank you so much again. Why don't you go ahead and promote anything you want to promote?
For sure. Cambo Love.
And probably go back.
You come get your Cambo, cambolove.com, KAMBOLOVE. And it's Cambo Love TLC, my initials, on Instagram. So Cambo Love TLC. And then of course, real estate. I'll probably be like an old lady with gray braids. You're coming to get your Cambo and I'll still be selling you your house.
Perfect.
So, my real estate is just Tishara Lee Cousineau, just my name. So TISHARALEECOUSINO. And so that's the Instagram handle. And my website is TLC Homes for Sale. So TLCHOMESFORSALE.com. So TLC Homes for Sale. That's me.
That's easy
perfect.
to remember.
TLC, yeah.
TLC. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your little TLC with us tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you so
What a
much.
blast.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.